G'day guys and welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about the cost of living and how expensive things have become and what to do about them. Well, the cost of living has increased dramatically in Australia. Obviously, this happens when you rapidly increase the supply of money, plus you bring in a lot of people, which then creates demand for goods and housing where there is a limited or fixed supply. So that's how things become more expensive. However, there still is a way forward for this. It just involves discipline and common sense. So we'll talk about a few things now, what you can do to get ahead. These are fairly straightforward. They're not complicated. It doesn't have to be complicated. I've been able to get ahead financially over the years just through discipline and common sense, and I'm sure you will be able to do that as well. So the first thing we want to do is we want to dramatically slash our living expenses. So, and you should be living very frugally in your 20s and 30s. So when you're starting out and you're just starting working, if you have to restart again later in life, same deal applies. So we want to slash as many costs as possible. Having delayed gratification is so important. It's a great temptation to spend your money, but you really need to delay that gratification and invest your money so compound interest has time to work on it. So in terms of reducing your costs, as a young person, you can live at home. There's no shame living with your parents. Alternatively, if you don't have the support of family, you can live in a large share house. I used to do that when I was younger. Or alternatively, you can just move overseas and find a cheaper country to live in with a cheaper cost of living and rent and cheaper food, etc. Next, we want to find the best paying work for the least amount of investment. Now, education and training is expensive depending on what it is. We don't want to overinvest in this. So it's generally best to start from the end goal and work backwards. So you can go to employment sites, find the jobs where they are most abundant, look at the qualifications and training needed for those jobs and work your way backwards from that. So once you have a full-time job, so you're successful, you're now working, we then need to build on your side hustle. Look, having just one full-time job is not enough these days, so we need passive ways of generating income. So this can be from selling physical or digital products online, a YouTube channel, creating content using creativity, even day trading. Anything that will generate income with minimal investment of your time will need to be added on top of your day job. Alrighty, once we get paid, the first thing we do is we invest. We don't pay our bills, we don't spend our money on discretionary expenses, we invest first, we do the rest later. So we want to invest as much as we can within our budget. If you don't have a budget, you should have one already. You should know exactly how much money you're making and know exactly where your money is going on expenses. With the investing, there are a few different options, but generally you've got low risk investment options such as investing in a market index. You can invest here in Australia, you can invest in superannuation. Superannuation has fantastic tax breaks and should be part of your overall investment strategy. Alternatively, you can chase higher returns but higher risk again, so you can engage in day trading, forex, crypto, etc. Next thing we want to do is have cheap hobbies. I have a number of cheap hobbies. I love surfing, basketball and skateboarding. Once you've made the initial investment, it costs very little money to continue to do those hobbies. We do not want expensive hobbies. You can still have fun with low expenditure. Next, we want to try and buy a house if we can. Now, in Australia, that's almost impossible now for young people because of immigration and the excess demand and the limited supply of housing. However, there's still a couple options. One, you can buy a rural house in a less populated area. You can also go into a consortium with other buyers to buy a house in a city. You'll just have a split share ownership. Property ownership has typically been a guaranteed way to make money. Next, we want to talk about investing in the sense that time in the market beats timing the market. So important. It's easier to do what they call dollar average investing. That's where you're just investing regularly every week versus trying to wait and time the crash and buy low and sell high. Compound interest is your friend. So true. So we want to aim to have at least $1 million halfway through our working career, earning at least 11 to 12% per annum, and you'll be able to retire comfortably over a 40-year time horizon. It is easier to save $1 than it is to make $1. That is so true. We want to be frugal. We want to minimize our expenditure, and also we want to avoid going into debt. Debt equals slavery for those who haven't worked it out yet. We don't want to take on unnecessary debt. We don't want large credit card debt. We do not want large personal loans. If you do, get rid of those collateral assets on those loans. We do not want to have that debt. There is debt in the sense of purchasing assets which generate income, but I'm talking about here things like cars, motorbikes, caravans, boats, things like that. Get rid of those. Keeping up with the Joneses, right? So this will be your downfall if you engage in this. Watching your neighbours purchasing new cars, new boats, caravans, knocked down, building new houses, that will be your undoing in terms of investing. You will have to work until you die unless you start investing and cutting your expenses dramatically. Alright, so getting ahead doesn't have to be complicated. Common sense and discipline equals a secure future. Delayed gratifications equals getting what you want, but just later in life. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.